In the vast cold expanse of space, humanity drifted like an unwelcome whisper among ancient civilizations. The year was 2187, and Earth had become a forgotten footnote in the grand galactic narrative. HFY Park stood at the observation window of the research vessel Horizon, his tired eyes reflecting the endless darkness of space. The Galactic Council had made it abundantly clear: humans were not welcome. Years of diplomatic attempts had resulted in nothing more than cold rejections and dismissive transmissions. Some alien races viewed humans as primitive, violent creatures unworthy of their advanced technologies or interstellar conversations. Commander Hyun-Ki Kim watched the latest communication log scroll across the ship's main screen. Another rejection, another silent slam of the metaphorical door. The human fleet was reduced to a mere handful of research and exploration vessels, each one struggling to prove their worth in a universe that seemed to have forgotten them. On the horizon, tension was a constant companion. Scientists like HFY worked tirelessly, developing technologies that might catch the attention of the advanced alien civilizations. Their research was a mixture of desperation and hope, a delicate balance between scientific innovation and the burning desire to be recognized. The ship's communication officer, a young woman named Min-seo, suddenly straightened in her seat. "Commander?" she called out, her voice breaking the heavy silence. "We're picking up an unusual transmission." Her fingers danced across the holographic interface, filtering and analyzing the incoming signal. HFY approached, his curiosity overriding his usual cautious demeanor. The signal was unlike anything they had encountered before, fragmented, complex, but definitely artificial. It didn't match any known alien communication protocols. Commander Kim leaned forward, his weathered hands gripping the edge of the communication console. "Can you clean it up?" he asked, his voice a low, controlled rumble. Min-seo worked her magic, applying advanced filtering algorithms developed by human engineers. Slowly, the fragmented transmission began to take shape. It was a distress signal, but unlike any they had heard before. The language was unknown, the technology behind the transmission seemingly beyond current understanding. HFY's scientific mind raced with possibilities. This could be their chance, a breakthrough that might finally prove humanity's worth to the galactic community. He began running complex analysis programs, breaking down the signal's components with a precision that spoke of years of rejected research and endless determination. The ship's artificial intelligence, an advanced system, nicknamed Hope by the crew, started correlating the transmission data. Strange mathematical patterns emerged, suggesting a level of complexity that even the most advanced alien races might find challenging. Commander Kim understood the potential of this moment. Humanity had been cast aside, deemed too primitive, too aggressive, too unpredictable. But here was an opportunity, a single transmission that could change everything. "Prepare a detailed report," he instructed Min-seo. "We're going to document every single detail of this transmission." His voice carried a mixture of excitement and careful restraint. They had been disappointed too many times to allow themselves unbridled optimism. HFY worked alongside the communication team, his fingers moving rapidly across multiple holographic interfaces. Each layer of the transmission revealed something new: fragments of technology, hints of a civilization in distress, and mathematical sequences that defied current scientific understanding. The horizon became a hive of activity. Scientists worked in shifts, analyzing every byte of the mysterious transmission. They knew this could be their moment, their chance to prove that humanity was more than just a species to be ignored. As hours turned into days, the team began to piece together a complex puzzle. The transmission seemed to hint at something larger, a potential threat that could impact multiple civilizations. But without full context, they could only speculate. Commander Kim knew they would need to present their findings carefully. Previous attempts to engage with the Galactic Council had been met with cold indifference. This time, they needed irrefutable evidence, something so compelling that even the most dismissive alien representatives would be forced to listen. HFY looked up from his workstation, his eyes reflecting a mixture of exhaustion and determination. "We might have something," he said quietly, knowing that these words had been spoken many times before, only to lead to another disappointment. But this time felt different. The transmission held secrets, complex, intricate secrets that suggested humanity might possess something unique, a different way of thinking, a unique approach to problem solving that the established galactic civilizations had overlooked. As the Horizon continued its silent journey through the vast cosmic ocean, the crew waited, watched, hoped. They were about to challenge the narrative that had defined humanity's place in the universe. Little did they know, everything was about to change. The quantum anomaly appeared without warning, a silent cancer eating through the fabric of space-time. Astronomers across multiple civilizations first noticed strange distortions, tiny ripples that seemed insignificant but grew more pronounced with each passing hour. HFY Park studied the initial data with intense concentration. The holographic displays around him flickered with complex mathematical models, each projection more alarming than the last. What had begun as a curious scientific observation was quickly transforming into a potential extinction-level event. The first reports came from the outer colonies. Entire star systems began experiencing impossible phenomena. Planets shifted in their orbits. Communication networks collapsed. Strange energy signatures erupted from seemingly stable regions of space. Commander Hyun-Ki Kim received the preliminary reports from various research stations. Something fundamental was breaking down. The very laws of physics seemed to be unraveling. Traditional scientific understanding offered no explanations, no solutions. Advanced alien civilizations scrambled to understand the threat. The Quantum Collective, a group of the most technologically sophisticated races, convened emergency meetings. Their best scientists worked around the clock, but each solution proved futile. Min Seo, the communication specialist from the Horizon, intercepted a transmission that made her blood run cold. The alien scientific community was panicking. Words like total collapse and universal breakdown were being used with increasing frequency. The anomaly worked like a slow-acting poison. It didn't destroy immediately. Instead, it systematically dismantled the fundamental connections that held reality together. Quantum entanglement began to fail. Atomic structures started showing unexpected instabilities. HFY discovered something peculiar in his research. The anomaly followed a pattern, a complex, almost mathematical sequence that seemed to suggest intelligence, but not any intelligence they had encountered before. This was something different, something beyond current comprehension. Military vessels from various civilizations began converging around the anomaly's origin point. Massive energy weapons, capable of destroying entire planets, seemed useless against this silent, creeping threat. Traditional defensive strategies meant nothing. The human research team on the Horizon worked with a combination of desperation and scientific curiosity. They analyzed every transmission, every tiny fragment of data. Where others saw chaos, HFY saw potential patterns. Commander Kim understood the stakes. If this anomaly continued unchecked, it wouldn't just destroy civilizations, it would erase entire realities. The threat was beyond traditional understanding of destruction. This was a complete unraveling of existence itself. Alien scientific councils sent increasingly desperate communications. Their most advanced technologies, developed over thousands of years, proved useless. Quantum computers crashed. Advanced prediction models failed. The anomaly seemed to adapt, to learn, to grow. Min Seo discovered something unusual in the transmission. Logs. Buried deep within the complex data streams were mathematical sequences that didn't match any known scientific language. They were unique, almost human in their unpredictability. HFY began to form a theory. What if the anomaly wasn't a threat, but a communication? What if this was something trying to communicate in a language no one had yet understood? His colleagues thought he was losing his mind, but something about the data felt different. Budi. Human research team worked in shifts analyzing every possible angle. They approached the problem differently from other civilizations. Where alien scientists saw a problem to be solved with pure logic, humans saw a puzzle, something that might require creative thinking. Star systems began to disappear, not destroyed, simply vanishing, like someone was erasing them from existence. The quantum anomaly was growing, consuming reality itself. Millions of intelligent beings watched in helpless terror as their universe began to unravel. Commander Kim made a decision. They would not wait for instructions from the Galactic Council. Humanity might be an outsider, might have been repeatedly rejected, but they would not sit quietly while reality collapsed. HFY's research took an unexpected turn. The anomaly's mathematical language started to make sense, not through traditional, scientific methods, but through a uniquely human approach of creative interpretation. As the universe trembled on the brink of total collapse, humanity prepared to do what no one expected. They were about to challenge the fundamental understanding of reality itself. The existential threat was real. The countdown had begun, and humanity was the universe's most unexpected hope. The Galactic Council chamber fell silent when Yoon-ji Choi stepped forward. Her presentation materialized around her. Holographic projections showing complex mathematical models that seemed to dance and shift with impossible complexity. Jae-hwa Park stood behind her, his hands nervously clasped behind his back. Months of research had led to this moment. Humanity's most radical scientific theory was about to be presented to the most advanced civilizations in the universe. The alien representatives looked skeptical. Humans had always been considered the least sophisticated species, aggressive, unpredictable, technologically primitive. Yet something about this presentation felt different. Yoon-ji's voice was calm and steady. She explained how the quantum anomaly wasn't just a threat, it was a form of communication, a language so complex that traditional scientific approaches had completely missed its true nature. The human team had discovered something extraordinary. The anomaly responded to creative problem-solving, something humans excelled at. Where logical computational systems failed, human intuition could potentially bridge the gap. Commander Hyun-ki Kim watched from the side, his military background giving him a unique perspective. This wasn't just a scientific presentation. This was a strategic intervention that could save multiple civilizations. Mathematical sequences began to flow through the presentation. Each model showed how human unpredictability could be an advantage. The alien representatives leaned forward, their sophisticated sensors analyzing every detail. Jae-hwa's theory suggested that the quantum anomaly was actually a form of communication from a higher dimensional intelligence, but it required a specific type of cognitive approach, one that humans uniquely possessed. The quantum collective's representatives exchanged worried glances. Their most advanced artificial intelligences had failed to comprehend the anomaly. Yet these humans were proposing something completely unexpected. Min-seo had spent weeks preparing supporting documentation. Transmission logs, mathematical models, and computational simulations all pointed to one conclusion. Humanity's creative thinking might be the key to solving the universal threat. Yoon-ji demonstrated how human cognitive flexibility could potentially translate the anomaly's complex language. Traditional scientific approaches saw problems linearly. Humans saw problems as puzzles, with multiple potential solutions. The presentation reached its climax. A live demonstration showed how human-designed algorithms could partially decode the quantum anomaly's communication patterns. The alien representatives watched in stunned silence. Quantum physicists from various civilizations had spent years trying to understand the anomaly through pure logical approaches. Humans were suggesting something radical, that emotion, creativity, and intuition could be scientific tools. Commander Kim understood the political implications. If successful, this would change humanity's position in the galactic community forever. No longer would they be seen as primitive outsiders. Jae-hwa's research revealed something profound. The anomaly seemed to respond to emotional and creative inputs, something no computational system had previously considered possible. It was as if the threat was testing intelligent life's adaptability. The Galactic Council's lead representative, a crystalline being of pure logic, finally spoke. "Your approach defies all scientific understanding," he stated, his translator rendering the words with mechanical precision. Yunji smiled. "Sometimes," she responded, "defying understanding is exactly what science needs." The human team had transformed a potential universal extinction event into a potential communication opportunity. They weren't just proposing a solution, they were suggesting a completely new way of understanding intelligence itself. Hours of deliberation followed. The alien representatives analyzed every aspect of the human proposal. Their most sophisticated systems worked overtime trying to find flaws in the unconventional approach, but something was different this time. The humans weren't just presenting a theory, they were offering hope, a creative, unexpected pathway through an impossible problem. As the presentation concluded, the universe seemed to hold its breath. Humanity's most radical scientific theory was about to be tested against a threat that had already defeated the most advanced civilizations in existence. The unexpected solution was ready. All that remained was to see if humanity's unique approach could save reality itself. The massive intervention ship cut through space like a blade of human determination. Commander Hyunki Kim stood on the bridge, his hands steady, eyes focused on the swirling quantum anomaly that threatened to consume entire realities. HFY Park's experimental technology hummed with an energy that felt almost alive. Hundreds of human scientists worked alongside alien technicians, their combined efforts representing something unprecedented in galactic history. The quantum anomaly pulsed, a massive, living network of energy that seemed to watch, to understand, to challenge. Traditional weapons were useless. Conventional scientific approaches had already failed spectacularly. Minseo monitored the communication systems, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. She had become the primary translator of the anomaly's impossible language, a skill that made her simultaneously the most important and most terrified person on the ship. Alien scientists watched in disbelief as human teams approached the problem differently. Where logical systems saw barriers, humans saw puzzles. Where computational models failed, human creativity found unexpected pathways. The intervention required a completely new approach. Humans brought something unique to the mission, an ability to think beyond established scientific boundaries. Emotion, intuition, and creative problem-solving became their most powerful tools. Yoonji Choi coordinated the complex mathematical interventions. Her team had developed algorithms that responded to the anomaly's communication patterns in ways no previous civilization had considered possible. Each moment was a delicate dance of potential destruction and potential understanding. The quantum anomaly responded to their approaches, sometimes with violent energy disruptions, sometimes with what seemed like curiosity. Commander Kim understood the stakes. This wasn't just about saving their own civilization. This was about proving humanity's worth to the entire galactic community. Years of rejection would be answered in these critical moments. HFY's experimental quantum stabilization technology represented the pinnacle of human scientific achievement. It combined mathematical precision with creative intuition, an approach that defied traditional scientific understanding. The alien technicians watched in growing amazement. Human scientists worked with a combination of calculated precision and emotional intuition that their own computational systems could never replicate. Strange energy patterns began to emerge. The quantum anomaly started responding to the human intervention in ways nobody could have predicted. It was almost as if the threat was learning, communicating, testing the humans. Minseo intercepted increasingly complex transmission patterns. What had begun as a potential extinction event was transforming into something else, a form of communication more advanced than anyone had imagined. Massive energy surges erupted around the intervention ship. Lesser technologies would have been destroyed instantly, but the human design systems adapted, responded, survived. Commander Kim gave the orders that would define humanity's place in the universe. Each decision was a careful balance of scientific knowledge and human intuition. No previous mission had ever required such a delicate approach. Yoonji's team discovered something extraordinary. The quantum anomaly wasn't just a threat, it was a test. A challenge presented to intelligent life to prove their adaptability, their potential, their worth. Human creativity became their most powerful weapon. Where alien civilizations saw only logical barriers, humans saw possibilities. Each unexpected approach brought them closer to understanding the impossible. The intervention reached its critical moment. Billions of lives hung in the balance. Entire civilizations watched with a mixture of hope and terror, waiting to see if humanity could succeed where everyone else had failed. HFY's final computational model integrated human emotional response with pure mathematical precision. It was the approach that seemed to break every established scientific rule. The quantum anomaly pulsed, responded, began to change. Something was happening that no one, human or alien, could have predicted. Humanity was no longer just fighting for survival. They were proving their place in the universe. The treaty signing hall was unlike anything humanity had seen before. Alien representatives from 100 different civilizations sat in a circular chamber, their eyes fixed on the human delegation. HFY. Park stood at the center, no longer the overlooked scientist, but now a galactic hero. Commander Hyun-Ki Kim and Yoonji Choi flanked him, representatives of a species that had just saved multiple realities from complete destruction. The quantum anomaly had not been destroyed. It had been understood. Humanity's unique approach had transformed what was once considered a threat into a potential communication channel between different dimensional intelligences. Min Seo, the communication specialist who had first decoded the anomaly's complex language, sat quietly. Her work had become the foundation of a new form of interstellar communication that would revolutionize scientific understanding. Alien representatives who once viewed humans as primitive now looked at them with a mixture of respect and wonder. The galactic power dynamics had shifted completely in a matter of weeks. The treaty was more than a political document. It represented a fundamental change in how intelligent life would approach complex problems. Humanity's creative problem-solving had proven to be a critical universal resource. Commander Kim understood the historical significance of this moment. Years of rejection had transformed into a position of unprecedented importance. Humans were no longer outsiders. They were essential partners in galactic civilization. Yoonji's scientific presentation had become required study in academic institutions across multiple civilizations. Her approach to understanding the quantum anomaly was now considered a breakthrough in interdimensional communication. The Galactic Council's lead representative, a being of pure computational intelligence, spoke first. Humanity has demonstrated a capacity for understanding that transcends traditional scientific boundaries. The translator rendered the words with clinical precision. HFY realized they had done more than solve a threat. They had fundamentally changed how intelligence would be understood across the universe. Creativity was now recognized as a critical scientific tool. Trade agreements, scientific exchanges, and diplomatic relationships were being rewritten. Humans would now have access to technologies and knowledge that were previously forbidden. Their perspective was now valued, not dismissed. The quantum anomaly remained, but now it was a subject of collaborative study. Multiple civilizations would work together, with human scientists playing a leading role in understanding its complex nature. Min Seo's communication protocols became the new standard for cross-dimensional interactions. Her unique ability to translate complex mathematical and emotional languages was now considered a critical scientific skill. Commander Kim watched as the first official documents were signed. Humanity's position had transformed from a rejected species to a critical galactic partner. The universe would never be the same. Technological exchanges began immediately. Human research centers would now collaborate with the most advanced civilizations. bringing their unique perspective to solve complex, universal challenges. Yunji understood that this was just the beginning. The quantum anomaly had been a test, and humanity had proven their worth in ways no one could have predicted. The treaty represented more than a political agreement. It was a recognition that intelligence comes in many forms, that creativity, emotional intelligence, and adaptability were as important as pure computational power. Jaehua looked at his team. They had started as outsiders, rejected by the galactic community. Now they were at the center of a new understanding of intelligence itself. Alien representatives began approaching the human delegation, seeking to understand more about the unique approach that had saved multiple realities. Humanity was no longer a footnote. They were a critical chapter in universal history. The quantum anomaly pulsed in the background, no longer a threat, but a reminder of the incredible journey that had brought humanity to this moment. Commander. Kim knew that everything had changed. Their species had proven that being different wasn't a weakness. It was their greatest strength. Humanity had not conquered the galaxy through force or technology. They had transformed it through creativity, understanding, and an unbreakable spirit of exploration.